Hey YouTube, got an update on my Kahr cw380. I just stepped in from putting 50 rounds through it. That makes it 350. This 50 rounds went flawless. That's what I was looking for, is 50 rounds without a malfunction. The only quirk it had was the slide didn't lock back on the last round one time. I shot 50 rounds 5 at a time, so that was 10 mags full, or 10 mags with 5 in them. And the slide failed to lock back once, and that's okay. I have 3 mags. I bought one that came with it, and then I bought 2 off of eBay that were used. So these mags are terribly expensive. So I'm not gonna let that bug me. The slide not locking back, that don't bother me at all. It shot all 50 rounds. No failures to go back into battery, which was the big problem. No stovepipes or nothing. It's working a lot better since it's getting broke in and I'm getting the rounds through it. So I normally wouldn't put this kind of effort into a small gun, but I like it. I can hit well with it. It has real sights. The size is perfect. I carry it either in this DeSantis pocket holster, but more recently I bought this little leather inside the waistband holster with a sweat guard, and it fits in there perfectly, and I carry it inside the waistband just to free up pocket space and just to try out this holster. I believe this holster was for a Kel-Tec, but it fits perfect and it carries well. The gun's so light, it's just, you don't even know you got it with you. So I'm really hoping I can put another 50 through it, maybe tomorrow, and everything go good. I carry it anyway. I've never, even when it was new and I was having issues with some rounds, it always functioned perfectly with hollow points, and that's what I carry in it. So I've never had any issue whatsoever with hollow points, and I've put 60. I put 3 boxes of Hornady. Some of them were American Gunner and some of them were Critical Defense, and I've never had an issue with any hollow point. So that's a good thing. I buy, sell, trade guns quite a bit. I've come across a few in the last week or two. I thought I'd show them. I hadn't made any videos on them. The first one I got is this brick. This is an old Ruger P89 9mm. It's clear. It's empty. This thing is a brick. Now these guns actually do have fans, believe it or not. And I went out and I shot 100 rounds of my reloads through it right when I brought it home, and it had no issues at all. There's absolutely no recoil in a 9mm that weighs whatever this weighs, couple 3 pounds. This thing, I believe they quit making these in 2007. The best way I can describe this is it's a cross between a 1911 and a Beretta 92 FS. It's big. It's a single, double action, single action. It has a decocker and a safety, which you know I don't like, but it is what it is. Like I said, I've made a lot of deals. You get some stuff you don't really care for, but that's just part of the deal, and that's what this was. The very first automatic pistol I ever bought was a P85, which is a little bit smaller than this maybe, but pretty much the same thing. This is a little more refined. The P85 was the very first automatic centerfire handgun that Ruger ever come out with, and this was not too long after. So it's a Ruger P89. I may do a video on it. I may get rid of it before this video even pops up on YouTube. You never know. Another one that I acquired, which I probably will keep, is a Ruger GP100. This one is fully polished. It has fiber optic front sight. It's a 6-shot, 3-inch barrel, 357 Magnum. It has factory Hogue grips on it, and that made me change the grips on my little SP101 from the Packmeyers to the Hogues, and I like the Hogues a lot better. So if anybody needs a set of Packmeyers for an SP101, I'll give you a real good deal on them. But this is a fully polished 3-inch GP100. Watched Hickok's video on it. He says the 3-inch GP100 is harder to come by than the other ones, and I'm not going to argue with him because he knows way more about guns than me. I've never really looked for one. I come upon this one in a trade, and I may end up keeping this. There's something to be said for the old revolvers, and I like them. I like the Rugers, Smith & Wessons. So this goes nicely with my little SP101. Another one that I picked up is this Browning Nomad. It's a 22 long. It is unloaded. The slide don't stay back on these. Browning come out with these pistols in 1962. They were designed by John Browning's grandson. You had the Nomad, there's the Challenger, there's the Medalist, and it ended up being pretty much the Buckmark that they still make today. This is all steel frame, steel everything, except for the grips. They're kind of almost like a Bakelite plastic. But this gun feels real nice in the hand. It shoots extremely well. The downside to this Browning Nomad and the Challenger is these mags. I only have one, and they're almost unobtainable. This one functions fine. It's a 10-round mag. Buckmark mags will not work in it. They have to be for the Nomad or the Challenger or the Medalist. So that's the downside to this gun. If there is one, that is it. I haven't found mags. I found one on eBay that ended, it looked worse than this one, and it ended for $130-something. So if you're going to get you a Nomad or a Challenger, try to get mags with it when you make the deal, because if you don't, you're probably not going to find any. So that's a few of the ones I've acquired in the last week. There's one more that I got rid of already, and then I picked up one that I haven't shown yet. So this was mainly an update on my little my cw380, excuse me. As you can see, it's dirty. I just got done firing 50 rounds through it about 10 minutes ago. So I'll take it apart and clean it. I'm very pleased. I've put a lot of effort into this gun. Somebody left a comment on one of my first videos and talked about exercising this extractor, and that helped. I did like he said, and that helped a lot, I do believe. So I'm through the break-in period. I'm at 350 rounds. 60 of them are hollow points, and I trust it now. Like I said, I shot 50 today, no issues. I believe the last 50 I had no issues. Maybe a failure to lock the slide back on one of those too, and that could be one of my used mags, and it probably is. If it does it again, I'll mark the mag and then look into it a little further. But like I said, that don't bother me. The slide not locking back. The slide doesn't lock back on the LCP Ruger. The slide doesn't lock back at all on a lot of these little mini guns, pocket guns. So that's a non-issue for me. If you got one of these and it's giving you fits, if you really like it, hang in there. Give it time. Go on and get the 250 to 300 rounds in it for sure before you toss it. Because it's a quality gun, believe it or not. And it's a nice shooting gun. It don't beat you up. It has real sights. They're small. They don't stick up. But they're far better than most of the little pocket guns, 380s. I added the Talon grips to this one. Put a little piece of sandpaper on the front of this. I've been making some of my own grips with sandpaper. I got a big giant roll of it. It's not really sandpaper, it's traction, kind of a walkway stuff. It's the same exact stuff that the granule Talon grips are made out of, and it works well. I don't like the sandpaper grips on a gun I'm going to carry, because if it rubs up against you, it's real sandpaper, and it'll do what sandpaper really does, and you can't take that all day. So there's my update. I'm going to put up another video right after this one, and then we'll see what happens next. The next one I'm going to do is probably going to be on this GP100. I acquired this in a multi-gun deal, and I'm really pleased with this GP100. This is the main one that I wanted of all these guns. I think I ended up getting 5 at once, and this is the one that I wanted out of the 5, so I'm going to keep it, and the other 4 I'll probably shoot them and then let them roll. So that's all I got for today. I ain't really got anything to complain about, but I'm sure I'll think of something, and when I do, I'll let you know about it. Thanks for watching.